Yes. Yes, that's right. The time has come. As always, TGIF. Welcome to the world famous. What do they always say world famous, huh? Valentine show. Do I have a doozy for you guys today? Boy, do I have a show for you guys today. TGIF, thanks God it's Friday. Excellent show. Crazy show. High octane, jam-packed show tonight. I will be making it up since I haven't uploaded in literally the whole week. So we have a jam-packed, jam-packed show. All right. The crew's popping in. Thanks, God. Hello to Laura. Rio says, big ups to Valentine show from Little Rhode Island. What's up? Oh, Noel Garcia, Florida in the building. Let's go, man. Florida is crazy. I missed our Heli TV. Let me see. Let's see what you're crying about today. Sounds good, like always, man. We have a great show, man. Let's just get right into it, because when I mean it's a lot, there is a lot to get to today. We're gonna be talking about a lot. And actually, I totally forgot about this. I just want to, how you spell Giuliani? There you go. Giuliani raid. Let me just talk a little bit about this. This is a real simple story, real crazy, not too crazy, to be honest. Obviously the liberals are loving it, I'm pretty sure, but there's really nothing much to the story. And let's just get to it right away. Hit that like, hit that share right away. Obviously for the people that are here, we're gonna be turning on the lines. I laugh because you guys know this never happens. Around 8:30, we're gonna be opening up the lines. That way you guys could call and let me know what's going on. Like I said, there's a lot of recap. We're gonna be talking about, oh my God. We're gonna be talking about Scott, the senator who gave the rebuttal to Joe Biden's address, which I didn't watch because I knew it was gonna be boring. I don't like watching boring people. But we're gonna be talking around some of the things around this, a huge spending bill that they are talking about. Again, we're gonna get into the national debt. Nobody talks about that. So much spending by the Joe Biden administration. I think it's not looking good, to be honest, for the United States of America. But let's see what happens. We're gonna be talking about how the Michigan governor is also opening up the state only if the boys and girls do what they have to do, get vaccinated. Only if a certain percentage of the population gets vaccinated, they're going to be opening up Michigan. If the little boys and girls in Michigan don't do that, then we're not going to be opening it up, just because that's how we do it. We are authoritarian. We are the political left. That's just how it goes. We're going to be talking about that and a whole bunch of other things, but just let's get right into it right away. Hit that share, hit that like, guys. It helps me a lot when you guys do that stuff. And obviously the show is brought to you by the good people at the Valentine show. That's right. Down there's gonna be shirts like this, 1776, where in the back it says freedom or death, and my Jesus shirt in Teespring. Go get it before it's too late. There's a special code down there. The only way to support the Valentine show, if you enjoy the show and you like the message, your message, take your conservative dollars, be strategic about them, and spend it with people that are sharing your message. Enough of the plugs, and let's get right into it. Rudy Giuliani's apartment gets raided by the FBI in New York City. This isn't, and let me just tell you this. This is just in regard into an investigation that the FBI is doing, because quote unquote, supposedly, Rudy Giuliani was a lobbyist to the Ukrainian government, and he didn't register as a lobbyist, to my understanding. What is a lobbyist? Let's kick it down to that way the hood understands, right? That way everybody understands it. We use words we don't even know exactly what they mean. A lobbyist is a person that is an agent that petitions or that negotiates or tries to influence government officials to pass laws that are favorable to whatever entity that might be, whether that might be even Ukraine, whether that might be a particular company. For example, let's say the Valentine show is a big, huge corporation. The Valentine show has some lobbyists, some people, agents of the Valentine show, the corporation, that he sends to Washington to go have meetings with politicians. That way they could pass laws that are favorable to who? The Valentine show. So supposedly Rudy Giuliani was not doing this, right, in regards to the Trump administration, and supposedly he broke the law. That's what the FBI is investigating. Let's see what happens. We don't know anything else about that. So it's an ongoing investigation. That's it. That's the end of the story. There's absolutely nothing to infer. There's nothing to think about. There's absolutely nothing else. If he did a crime, well, he has to do the time, plain and simple. If Rudy Giuliani did something wrong and the law says he did something wrong and he gets convicted, again, we are, like the law says, we are innocent until proven guilty. If they go through the process, they find them guilty, then he just has to pay the price. Until then, we reserve any conspiracy theories to just that, conspiracy theories. Moving on. This is great news to my ears. 2021 Oscars, which I never, ever watch, nor the Oscars, nor the Grammys. I actually confuse all of them. I never watch none of that stuff. The lowest ratings in history. Yes. This is the way we're gonna make them pay, guys. Conservatives, because a lot of conservatives, I get it. We are very scared because we have a lot to lose. We have families, we have jobs, we have careers, we have reputations. We're not willing to go out and riot every day like Black Lives Matter, like Antifa. We're not willing to do that because we have families. We have better things to do, right? We got to go to work tomorrow. We don't riot or do anything like that, right? So we have to hit people where it hurts, at the money. We have to send the message in their pockets, right? So this is the Oscars. And you're also sending a psychological message saying that whatever you're doing, we don't want none of that. 2021 Oscars were least watched ever at 10.4 million. That's great news to my ears. Great news. The 2021 Oscars were the least watched and lowest rated ever. We don't want none of that Hollywood stupidity. We don't want that. Plain and simple. We understand what the battle that Hollywood is fighting against us conservatives with their movies, with their influencing culture, all that stuff coming from Hollywood. We don't want none of that stuff. This is the proof of it. Clocking in at 10.4 million viewers according to the data released Tuesday. The show also saw a 2.1 rating among adults ages 18 to 49. 2.1. The viewership dropped 58% compared to the previous low of the 2020 Oscars, which drew 23.64 million. So from last year, which was horrible, it still went down 58%. That's a great message. Now we got to do that with the we got to do that with Major League Baseball. We got to do that with a whole bunch. We got to do that with Netflix and any other of these corporations who have gone woke capitalists and are literally intruding into our lives. Basically, we have to send a message. Continuing here, Jen Psaki and the Biden administration, which we're going to get into. We're going to get into the Biden administration. We're going to get into Tim Scott, his response. I'm telling you, Tim Scott, and there's a lot of videos in this show. There's a lot of reactions we're gonna be doing to videos, etc., etc. There's a lot of that stuff in this show, so stay tuned because it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down tonight on the Valentine show. Jen Psaki and the Biden administration, they are unapologetic about funding. Remember the term of the day. Remember this term, guys. Elective abortions. There's different types of abortions. There's abortion that are miscarriages. That's a natural abortion, right? Natural death of the baby. Then there is elective for whatever reason. I don't want it. Oh, it's too expensive to have a baby, so we have to kill it. We cannot give it up for adoption. We have to kill a human life because it's too offensive. Or my career. I can't. Some oblivious artists out there, some of a popular band or something like that said, if I didn't have an abortion, this band, I forget the name of the band, would never be, because I won't be part of it. But the fool doesn't think that if her mom will have an abortion, she would never be alive. This is how they think. Jen Psaki, Biden administration respectfully, if you put respectfully, that means it's good, disagrees with Catholic Church over use of aborted babies for research. So meaning if you are a U.S. taxpayer, a little portion of that dollar is going to fund research with the use of aborted baby parts. Look at this. Look at the question.
Abortions in the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, the leaders of the president's own faith said in reaction, "It is deeply offensive, quote, to millions of Americans for our tax dollars to be used for research that collaborates with an industry built on the taking of innocent lives." How does the White House respond to that criticism?
Look, I think the White House respectfully disagrees, and we believe that it's important to invest in science and look for opportunities to cure diseases, and I think that's what this is hopeful to do. Go ahead. Okay.
Third question. Thank you. Abortions.
So that's basically it. They respect the White House respectfully disagrees that they use aborted baby parts to fund research because we're trying to cure diseases with aborted baby parts, murdering babies. Yeah. And you're paying for that. That's the good thing. But we respectfully disagree, says the White House. Again, there's a stark difference between mean tweets on Twitter, Donald J. Trump. Oh, what? Oh, Harry said mean tweets. What? And taking U.S. dollars of people that are not willing to give their U.S. dollars to fund research with aborted baby parts. So, I mean, that's just those are just the facts. Give me Donnie Boy all day long with all his shortcomings, right? I'm not saying that Donnie Boy is a perfect man. Nobody is. I'm not. You're not. But Donnie Boy was way better than what we have now. This is what happens right here, guys. When keeping it real goes wrong. Where was that section now? Where was that on the Chappelle Show? I think it was, or something like that. When keeping it real goes wrong, or when keeping it hood goes wrong. This girl right here by the name of man, where is it? I totally forget her name. It was
Scared of the police.
I'm sorry. This was here in New York. This girl killed a U.S. a New York police officer. She was drunk and high, smoking marijuana. That is now legal in New York. She was drunk, and she said she had smoking some. I don't know if she was high, but she was smoking marijuana. So I'm guessing she was. She killed a New York officer, but she had some type of podcast, some type of show on Facebook, and she's there acting all tough, or F the police, effing this, effing that. This is let me tell you something, guys. What you see online from certain individuals is not what you're going to get in real life. Some of these individuals are playing a persona, which is not them, right? A lot of people do that, right? You see people post online on even your family members, Instagram and all that, and friends. You only see them put the highlights of their life. You only see them put the smiley faces, the good times. Put a picture when you're fighting with your loved one. Put a picture. They don't put that, right? So that's just the highlight reel. That's not real life. And on top of that, and some of these people take it and they play this persona. So you have this girl saying F the police, F that, F this. She kills this officer, and watch how reality just hits her. Reality in the next video that you're gonna see, and you're gonna see the difference between this that you're gonna see here, hood, gangster, F the police, all that, to what you're gonna see next. Watch this. Peace. By the way, I apologize. This has a lot of cursing, but hey, we're all adults here.
Otherwise, right? There'll be songs like "Fuck the Police." We want you to know we don't give a fuck about you, your mama, your children, your wife. You're nothing. You're nothing to us. Blood spray, roaches, infestation. Scared of a.
You heard that? F the police. Your children. This is an evil individual right here. Evil. And look at, you saw that, right? Gangster tough. Gangster. All right.
Jessica. Well, what did you do, Jessica?
Where are you coming from?
Hear it again. Hear it again.
Jessica. Well, what did you do, Jessica?
Sorry. When keeping it real goes wrong, she killed an officer, person, father. I think he was a father. I don't know of how many children, if I'm not mistaken. But you want to play this attitude. You want to get influence. You want to act all tough. That's not reality. That's not reality. The people that you say, F the police, roaches, F their family members, F their children, their children. Their children have nothing to do with them, with the police officers. And when they say F the police officers, all of them, because all of them are bad, you want to act tough, the police officer taking you to jail. She's now facing about 15 years, I think, which is not justice. Let's just get to the bottom of it. It's really not justice. It's just, justice is bringing the officer back, the person that she killed back. That's justice. But this is something that I guess will send her a message. To some people it would, but to some people it really don't care. Because we have society influencing these tough, these keyboard warriors, right? Roaches. You see the attitude. Roaches. And then I'm sorry. I tend to have not pity for evil human beings. I apologize. I have zero pity for them. I apologize for that. Now let's get to hit that like, hit that share. I'm hoping you guys are liking the show. We're gonna get into Spotify. We're gonna get into Joe Rogan. These are controversial statements by Joe Rogan, and we're gonna be analyzing them to see what's controversial about them. He's talking about obviously the vaccine, but everything regarding the vaccine is controversial. You cannot use your God-given free will to decide whether you want an experimental drug or vaccine in your body. And this whole vaccine stuff, it doesn't end here. We're gonna get into Michigan, where they are opening up the state with a percentage of the people that are vaccinated, like little children. Like I tell that to my son. Like, if you don't do this, you're not going to watch TV. Michigan is saying, if you don't do this, you're not going to open up. I do that to my son. Michigan Governor Whitmer is telling that to the people from Michigan. But and at the end of the day, Michigan got what they voted for. And if you guys have a problem with that, people that live in Michigan, all I say is do something about it. Plain and simple. Joe Rogan on his show. Joe Rogan, there's a lot of things that I don't like about Joe Rogan and whoever it is. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. I don't care you believe in what you say. But when you say truth, I'm going to just say you said the truth because you said the truth. Plain and simple. In this little video, we're going to see if Joe Rogan says truth. Let's go.
And people say, do you think it's safe to get vaccinated? I've said, yeah, I think for the most part, it's safe to get vaccinated. I do. But if you're like 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I go, no. Mm-hmm. Are you healthy? Are you a healthy person? Like, look, don't do anything stupid.
That's it. That's the controversial part. He believes that if you're over 21 years old, you're healthy, you shouldn't get vaccinated. That's it. That's the controversy. The end of the world. Because he said that. Because he's going against what the people are telling you. And he's not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anti-vaxxer myself. I will take the vaccine, me personally, after a certain amount of years have passed, that the rest of the guinea pigs out here have taken and proven that there's no effects 4 or 5 years from now, 3 years from now, whatever it is, a period of time that I feel comfortable taking the vaccine. But I'm not going to take it right now. And I don't want to take it right now. And I'm telling, if you're my family member, I will tell you probably not to take it right now. Because I think you should wait a little bit just because of how the process was done. But let's continue to see what Joe Rogan keeps saying here.
But you should take care of yourself. You should, if you're a healthy person and you're exercising all the time and you're young and you're eating well, and like, I don't think you need to worry about this.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you.
But there's a lot of jobs that will tell you need to have this.
Well, that's what's starting to happen now.
People are worried about them doing it for their children. And we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
There's that you might have to have your children vaccinated.
Not happening.
And, you know, I can tell you as someone who's both my children got the virus, it was nothing. I mean, I hate to say that. If someone's children died from this, I'm very sorry that happened. I'm not in any way diminishing that. But I'm saying the personal experience that my children had with COVID was nothing. One of the kids had a headache. The other one didn't feel good for a couple days.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, I mean, not feel good, like no big deal. No coughing,
right.
no achy, no like in agony. There was none of that. It was very mild. It was akin to them getting a cold.
Yeah, and you can have this thing where it's like you were saying, this virtue signaling and this kind of like theatrical display of I get the vaccine, what a good person I am, I care about everyone. But you're like, look, my daughter's a lot younger than your kids, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not injecting my daughter with something to fucking virtue signal. Like,
Right.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
If there's something that she's of no risk, statistically has no risk from,
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm not taking any experiment on her in that. And
Me
that's
too.
my attitude
But
toward
it's
it.
amazing that that's controversial.
Yeah.
That even saying that I'm not going to inject my child with the vaccine is controversial.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Because, again, we are not talking about even the flu that we just found out killed 22,000 people last year. We're not talking about that.
Right.
We're talking about something that is not statistically dangerous for children. But yet people still want you to get your child vaccinated, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, you should be vaccinated if you are vulnerable.
Plain and simple. That's what I believe also. But give me a second, guys. I have this bottom thing here, and none of you guys tell me unless I missed it. I have it in español here. You see that? No malas palabras. I have to change that. Wait up. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to put the English one on. There you go. Because here we speak the very good English. You see, my friend. So to get your opinion, call 646-470-1077. We're gonna turn on the line later in 10 minutes, my friend. So what is controversial about this? Like, what is controversial? Like, I want the autonomy, the God-given free will that I have as a human being, as a citizen of Earth, to decide what I inject into my body and what I don't. Can I just decide that, please? That's all I'm asking. Is that too much to ask? Is that too much to ask? Yet supposedly there's some controversy over Joe Rogan saying this. I mean, it's just crazy insanity. But I mean, this is where we're at, man. Do you guys agree with Joe Rogan? What did Joe Rogan say that is bad? I mean, he didn't say anything bad in my opinion. He's just giving people autonomous. He's just telling people should stay autonomous and let them decide for themselves. But again, I'll tell you this. You just heard all these opinions that I just said here right now. If for some reason, if by next Friday you guys see that I don't stream or upload videos, YouTube gave me a strike on this channel for voicing my opinion on that matter. Guaranteed. So it's very important that you guys follow me on Twitter, on Instagram. That way you guys know if something happens. But it's just that simple. I'm telling you because it happened on the Spanish channel of mine. They blocked my channel. They gave me a strike just because I dare give an opinion on the vaccine. I mean, that's just where we're at. Continuing here real quick. Let's react to this. Look, one of the major reasons the United States is the way it is. There's a few pillars of this woke culture that the United States is going through. Obviously, the politics, the media. And another politics, media, woke capitalism, and another major tenet of this woke culture is academia, woke educational system. Look at this teacher. This is a professor speaking. Guarantee this person is a Democrat. She's probably a member of Antifa. Look how the student shows calm, shows poise, expressing his opinion on police officer, and look at the SJW, the social justice warrior, teacher, professor, how that person is very emotional, very erratic when it comes to talking about police officers.
In your speech a few times. So what is your main concern? Since, I mean, honestly, the whole reason police, I mean, it is systemic. The issue is systemic because the whole reason we have police departments in the first place, where did it stem from? What's our history? Going back to what Jeremy was talking about, what does it stem from?
One of the stupidest and most idiotic, clownish, foolish things that the woke mob brings up. Oh, the institution of police officers is rooted in racism in the United States. Okay, that might be a fact, and I'm not even sure. I haven't investigated, but that could possibly be a fact. Are you saying because it was rooted in that and it started because of that, we should not use police officers today? Because, for example, they have police officer throughout the entire world. Every single police force out there, the institution of police was all of them founded on racism. At the end of the day, I think police officers and the police institution itself brings benefit. So it was, founded on racism worldwide. I mean, they have police officers in other parts of the world and they have no problem with that. So why are you even bringing up that it was rooted in, or it was, it gave rise to because of racism?
It stems from people in the South wanting to capture runaway slaves.
Maybe they shouldn't be heroes. Maybe they don't belong on a kid's show.
So I disagree with what Jeremy said about it, because I think cops are heroes and they have to have a difficult job, but we have to have that
all of
fine
them?
life. Oh,
Are all of them heroes? Are all police officers heroes? She knows the answer to that. She just want to ask a stupid question. She knows the answer to that. When people don't have arguments, they center themselves on a certain word, on all of them. Do you mean all of them? Are every single one of them heroes? I'm like, do I even have to tell you that? Like, obviously it's no. Like, there's no fathers. Are all fathers good? No. Are all mothers good? No. Are all pastors good? No. Are all brothers and sisters good? No. Are all everything? There's always a no to it. There's always a no, but do you have to ask this? She's asking like she's making a point.
I'd say a good majority of them. You have bad people in every business and every part. Well, wait.
Police officers have committed atrocious crimes and have gotten away with it and have never been convicted of any of it. And I say this as a person who has family members who are police officers.
Yes, I understand. And this is what I believe. This is my opinion. And this is, not popular to say, but I do support our police, and we have bad people, and the people that do bad things should be brought to justice. I agree with that. But I think that, say it again.
They haven't.
Well, I agree with you on that point of they should, right?
Okay, so what is your bottom line point? You're saying police officers should be revered, viewed as heroes?
I agree.
They belong on TV shows with children?
Yes.
I think they are heroes in a sense because they come to your need and they come and help you.
Would you have a basketball player as a hero? A basketball player. Or a police officer who's saving lives out there? Or a fire department or firefighter? Or an ambulance EMT? Who's the hero? Like, is LeBron James a hero? Like, LeBron James shoots a basketball. He's good at doing that, right? Dunking a ball. He's good at doing that. But is he a hero? What danger is he facing when he puts on his uniform? What is he facing? Nothing, right? Like, you call 911. The police come to danger. Be like, yo, there's a shootout right here. Come. They're coming. So, like, tell me which one should be the hero.
And they have a problem just like every other business, but we should fix that. But I think they're heroes. Well,
I think that's the problem. It's looking at it as a business. because they're actually supposed to protect and serve the people.
They do protect us. Who do we call when we're in trouble and someone has a knife or a gun?
I wouldn't call the police.
Why wouldn't you call the police?
I don't trust them.
She'll call LeBron.
My life's in more
Who would
danger
you call?
in their presence.
Professor, who would you call?
I wouldn't call anybody.
Foolish.
Well, would you have, if
I'm gonna
someone
protect my
intruded
phone
your
and
house with a gun, would you have a gun on you, or
No.
who would you call?
My Little
Time to
Pony.
go.
She'll call My Little Pony.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
I'm not
that's
going
fine.
to
If
reach
you're
out
already in
to
your house with a gun, there's not much you can do at that point. Calling the police is kind of just.
This guy is the third guy. This is the guy that just gets swayed by whatever might be popular at the time. There's people like that, liberals, right? They're the one that watch CNN. That's this guy right here. He's like, man, he said this. Man, I like that, but I don't know. I'm gonna say this. And look, he's like, if somebody has a gun, you should not call the police right now because like no character, no nothing. They're just like in the middle. Like we'll go with the win.
You know.
And I know that it's not popular for me to say that to you guys and people in here, but that's what I believe about the police.
Okay,
and,
thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Thank you
guys
very much.
for listening to my
Then
point.
she
I
shut him up.
appreciate it. Thanks.
I will say, yeah, I'm glad you did say that, even if I disagree with you.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah,
important that.
and we should fight for the right for people to say things that we don't even like.
Hey.
I may not agree with what you say, but I'll fight for your right to say it.
Oh man, Mr. Center guy just shocked me in the middle. He's like, no, I might not agree, but I will fight for the right for you to say it.
Amen, brother.
Within some
Amen.
extent, I'll say.
Okay, folks.
There you go. I mean, so this is what you're dealing with in school. Which one was the student? Which one was the teacher? Did you see the poise of that young man, however old he is? And the erratic, foolish ideas and stupid questions of the quote unquote professor? That's where we're at right now. Let's get into this right away. Let's get into a little bit of this speech right here. Oh, we're not gonna get into the speech actually because I know it was boring. I know there's nothing to watch. Like I'd rather wait for the highlights next day, but I'm not gonna watch a 45-minute speech of a guy that's not there's nothing exciting about that. Like there's nothing exciting about, even leftists will wanna watch Trump to see what he's gonna say. Oh, what's Trump gonna say? Who's gonna watch Joe Biden to do what, right? Even I think Politico was making fun of him, right? Saying like Joe Biden tries a new tone of presidential speech, whispering. He's like, get vaccinated, folks. Stop the malarkey. I don't want to hear none of that stuff, man. Come on. But look at this. There was a poll that came out. Supposedly 85% of viewers or 85% of the country supposedly agree with his speech. That was a lie. That 85% of America does not agree with Joe Biden. 85% of America, actually 85% of the viewers that night being Democrats agree. 85% of the Democratic viewers agree that it was a good speech, but this... How good can it be? But I'm not even gonna focus on the speech, but we're gonna be talking about the rebuttal, Tim Scott, and some of the things that he said, and we're gonna be talking about. You know what? Before I get into this, let me see. What? Okay, I got the national debt numbers for you to. Let me see. Give me one. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I got the national debt numbers. So yeah. So let me just get into this right here first. Into a new proposal by the Democratic Party, Joe Biden and the Democratic Party to basically, it's a way to buy your vote, right? And this is something that when the Republicans learn to speak this language and they make it clear to people why, they might be getting some headways on the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party knows how to speak the language of money. Even people that don't understand English understand the language of money. The Democrats understand that language. The Democrats speak the language of welfare. Most people understand the language because that's free stuff. People understand free. When the Republican Party comes out and they say, no, we're not going to do this. Like Mitch McConnell was saying regarding the stimulus checks, we're not going to do this. We're just going to give you this. And they don't understand. They don't give the reasons to people why. They don't make it clear. Yo, we have a national debt, a huge national debt. We just can't be giving out money like that because we have, huge problems to take care of in the country. We just can't keep giving out money like that. The Biden administration has rolled out two new plans. in total with the COVID that just passed, the COVID relief plan that just passed, the Americans Families Plan is a new proposal, and an infrastructure bill, which is a new proposal. We're talking about $6 trillion. We don't understand this. You, me, we don't understand this. We cannot fathom this number in our minds. We don't get it. We don't get 6 trillion, right? We just, how many zeros is that? Like, we don't get it, right? It doesn't make any sense. But what I'm gonna show you guys this. Where's it at? This calculator right here. Look at these numbers going. And I'm gonna try to make it a little bit more sense that way you guys see. But let's talk a little bit about some of the proposals that are coming down the line. Remember, they just passed this, $1.8 trillion COVID relief, and right away, we got to keep spending more. So we're talking about the family plan. This is the Americans Family Plan, something like that, right? The latest family package includes, listen to this, I'm gonna just mention a whole bunch of numbers that's not gonna make any sense to you, but you're gonna see that there's a lot of spending here. Includes $511 billion for education. This is very important. You saw the teachers, the whole education system is something that is being controlled by leftists, and you're getting these very ingrate American citizens who don't appreciate America, who thinks America is bad, who think America's racist, and now they're talking about doing a mix of critical race theory in influencing in the United States education system. I think this is why they're getting so much money, but it might be one of the reasons, but it doesn't make perfect sense. $511 billion for education, including universal preschool from 3 and 4-year-olds and free community college. It means free, but who the hell is paying for it? Like free, like people are paying for it. Nothing is free. $225 billion for childcare, including a subsidy that will cap expenses for most workers at 7% of income. The plan also calls for $225 billion to subsidize 12 weeks of paid parental and sick leave. I'm gonna tell you this: to subsidize 12 weeks of paid parental and sick leave, if you're having a child and you can afford 12 weeks off, you know what? It might not be the best idea for you to have a child right now. Because you can't pay for you to stay home 3 months. You don't have three months of expenses. The government should pay for that. And sick leave at $45 billion and $45 billion more for food stamps and school food programs. Okay, so that's the family's plan. And look what it says. The new plan also includes about $800 billion in tax credit, with about $200 billion going towards Obama health care subsidies and much more on the rest to make permanent an increase of the annual child tax from $2,000 to $3,600 for kids under 6, right? So they want to make the child tax credit, which is more money that supposedly, I have to do a little bit more research, more money that is going to start coming out to families in July, I think it is, like $3,000 and $3,600 more money. I mean, from where? Okay, let me see this. The single largest in the pending infrastructure package is a proposal for this is the infrastructure package now. $400 billion is called infrastructure towards expanding access to quality of life, affordable home, and community-based care for aging relatives and people with disabilities. The infrastructure plan includes $100 billion in new school construction, again for the education system, $25 billion upgrade childcare facilities and building new supply in high needs area, $12 billion for investing in community college facilities and technology. Let me see, man. I missed the part. There was a very important part. Okay, look at this. So they want to give more money to schools. Look at this. The already passed COVID-19 relief bill, meanwhile, included more than $120 billion for to help K through 12 schools, a sum so vast that the Congressional Budget Office estimated that more than 90% won't be spent in 2021. So the money that they got now, the education system, will not be spent in 2021. 90% of it will not be spent, yet they're calling for more. 2021, because funds approved for schools in 2021 haven't been spent. Okay, so yet they want to give them more money. They're also talking about subsidies, $174 billion for subsidies for electric vehicles, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The plan also called for significant amount of money for traditional infrastructure programs, $115 billion for roads, $115 billion for modernizing water system, $100 billion for expanding broadband internet, $85 billion for public transit, $80 billion for Amtrak. Why are you going to give a private company $80 billion? Doesn't make any sense to me. If the private company cannot manage its own finances, they can't balance their checkbook, go out of business, plain and simple. Why should we be given the money? Taxpayer money. $80 billion for Amtrak repairs and $25 billion for airport construction. Another $25 billion will go toward weathering buildings to make them more energy efficient, and $25 billion would be set aside for transformative endeavors. What does that mean? I have no idea. What does that mean? So we're going to be adding, look at the national debt clock. This is the national debt clock. We owe 28 trillion. A number that we cannot even understand. We can't fathom what 28 trillion is. Per citizen, every citizen in the United States owes $84,778. Per U.S. taxpayer, $225,309. We have a huge spending problem in the United States. Okay. How did our boy Donnie Boy did? Do you think Donnie Boy did good? Let's just get the facts out there. Let's just be real with it. If we're gonna complain about one side of the aisle because they're doing something, if our people do the same thing, we cannot just be like, okay, it's our people. No. President Trump's impact on the national debt. National debt has increased by almost 36% since Trump took office. Did you hear that? 36% since Trump took office. That's a lot of money. From 19.9 when he took the over to, what is it, 27 trillion in October of 2020. That's a lot of money. And all the presidents have had. Obama did the same thing. And I have watched so many videos trying to find out what's going to happen with this national debt. What's going to happen? Should we worry about it? What's going to happen with this debt that we have? What's going to happen with it? No answers. No answers. Nobody has answers. People just, and it's funny because then he says, how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to pay for this? They claim that, and I'm glad, to be honest. I'm glad. They say that they're going to be putting up the taxes for people who make over a certain amount of money, like tax hikes. Look at it right here. Tax hikes. So they're going to tax the rich, which, you know what, guys, look, I have had a drastic change over the way I'm thinking about taxing the rich and taxing these corporations. 2-3 months ago, I'll be like, no, it's not good to tax the corporations. It's not good to overtax the rich, right? So, for example, if this taxes goes into effect, right, that highest top bracket, for example, in the state of New York, it's going to be 52%. So you're going to give him more money after a certain amount, right? After your income reaches a certain amount, you're going to be giving 52% of your income to taxes, which I think is unfair, right? But I have changed my mind on all of that. I'm like, you know what? Tax the rich. Put up the corporate tax rate. That way people know. That way people feel the burn. That way they feel the backlash. That way they feel that it hurts them. That way they themselves start battling against, these are all socialist ideas. This is tax the rich to give to the poor. This is Marxism. This is the government intruding on our daily lives. This is what this is right here. And people don't understand. But people do understand the language that conservatives do not speak, the language that Republicans do not speak. They understand the language of money. When you tell people you're going to give them free college, people are going to be like, give me free college. Because they understand free. They don't understand free college. Yeah, but who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for that? The Republicans look really bad, and the reasons that they probably lost in Georgia, those 2 Senate seats, might have been just strictly that, money. The Democrats were promising a $2,000 stimulus check if they got their 2 senators. Guess what? Guess what happened? They got their 2 senators. When Mitch McConnell was like, no, we can't give the people the money because, it's too much money. We can't give it to them. People don't understand that. People do not understand that. When there's a pandemic going on and people have financial problems, people could care less probably who they vote for. They speak the language of money. You guys understand that. I understand that. Conservatives understand that. Republicans understand that. The people don't understand that. Tell it to me. I'm telling you because of me. 2016. I didn't know what's a Republican. I didn't know what's a Democrat. 2016. I'm going to college. The person that I hear talking that, gets my attention. Guess who it is? Guess who it is? Bernie Sanders gets my attention. The first one. The first candidate that gets my attention is Bernie Sanders. Wow, it's getting hot up in here. It's getting caliente. Why did Bernie Sanders get my attention? Bernie Sanders is speaking the language that I could understand, even though I did not understand politics. Wow, too breezy. Come on now. He's talking about in 2016, we're going to get free college. I was going to college. I was like, yeah, free college. Yeah. But then my mature self, I'm like, no. Wait, hold up. I got to check what is a Republican. I got to check what's a Democrat. I got to check, where this money coming from. What is this? There's no such thing as free. The government can't give you anything that's free because there's nothing that's free. You're going to end up paying for that. Somebody's going to end up paying for that. The people will end up paying for that, right? It will be free for me and probably not free, right? Because obviously I end up paying taxes, right? Also, but people understand this. This is the language that he's talking about, free maternity leave, free, pre-K, free childcare, free this, free that. People understand that. People are, and the funny thing is that you guys saw this national debt clock. There's rules in the Senate, right? Remember, Democrats have control of the House. They could pass whatever laws they want. So when it comes to the Senate, they need, if I'm not mistaken, I think they need 60 to pass a law. But when it comes down to money, to budget issues, they have something called the Senate Reconciliation Budget Rules, which allows them to pass money issues with a simple majority. And Democrats have a simple majority, with Kamala Harris being the tie-breaking vote in the 50-50. So they could do it unless one savior could come, which is a center-leaning Democrat, which is Joe Manchin, and actually Sinema, too. I think she's from Arizona, Colorado. I forget where she's from. That might not like that, right? So they could literally just pass these two plans on long party lines and let's keep wasting money. Let's get into this great response from Tim Scott, which if you're still here, thank you guys so much for being here, like always, every Friday, making it good, making it happen, like we do it on the Valentine show. And again, I'm sorry, guys. We're running late with the calls. But we're going to get to the calls. We're going to get to them. I mean, it's just, there's a lot. Like I said, it was a lot. I didn't upload anything during the weekend. There's a lot. Let me just open up where I wrote my notes regarding this video that we're going to watch here. This is Senator Tim Scott from North Carolina, the only black Republican. Guy's a good talker. Guy has some presidential qualities right here. And you're going to see what are some of his responses, what he says regarding him facing discrimination, with nobody saying that there's no discrimination. There's discrimination, but it's not to a point where you can become a senator or a president if you're black, right? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into a response from Joy Behar, and then we're just going to get into the lines. So let's go right away. So this is Senator Tim Scott from Carolina, and at the end, at the end of the speech, we're not going to see the whole speech. I'm going to just cut it up. I got some timestamps here. At the end, you're going to see, I'm surprised why he speaks like this, but when I find out why he speaks like this, it makes even more sense. Tim Scott, take it away.
Good evening. I'm Senator Tim Scott from the great state of South Carolina. We just heard President Biden's first address to Congress. Our president seems like a good man.
No, he doesn't, man. Stop that, bro.
His speech was full of good words.
I don't know.
President Biden promised you a specific kind of leadership. He promised to unite a nation, to lower the temperature, to govern for all Americans, no matter how we voted. This was the pitch. You just heard it again. But our nation is starving for more than empty platitudes. We need policies and progress that brings us closer together. But 3 months in, the actions of the president and his party are pulling us further and further apart. I won't waste your time with finger pointing or partisan bickering. You can get that on TV anytime you want.
All right, so he starts by giving him some type of compliments right now, which I totally disagree with him, right? I think the man is an evil man, like literally. I think he's really dividing the country. And I guess he just say that to be a little bit more cordial, right? And look what he says here when he's talking about facing this discrimination in the United States of America, which no conservative is saying out there that racism doesn't exist, like none that I know of, right? And look at how he and he's gonna give you how he came forward from that, right? How he rose from that, right?
To college. The beauty of the American dream is that families get to define it for themselves. We should be expanding opportunities and options for all families, not throwing.
Here we go.
This is not common ground. Nowhere do we need common ground more desperately than in our discussions of race. I have experienced the pain of discrimination. I know what it feels like to be pulled over for no reason, to be followed around the store while I'm shopping. I remember every morning at the kitchen table, my grandfather would open the newspaper and read it, I thought. But later I realized he had never learned to read it. He just wanted to set the right example.
Did you hear that? How important that is? How that's culture right there. He understood. I never heard nobody ever do that. He's opening up the newspaper just to set an example for the people that are looking at him. That's a huge problem in low-income communities, blacks and Latinos. Huge problem. But people don't want to face that. They want to say, oh no, the white man, the white devil, it's the system, systematic racism. Like Joy Behar is going to say in a few, you guys are going to see it.
I've also experienced a different kind of intolerance. I get called Uncle Tom and the N-word by progressives, by liberals. Just last week, a national newspaper suggested my family's poverty was actually privilege because a relative owned land generations before my time. Believe me, I know firsthand our healing is not finished. In 2015, after the shooting of Walter Scott, I wrote a bill to fund body cameras. Last year, after the deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, I built an even bigger police reform proposal. But my Democratic colleagues blocked it. I extended an olive branch. I offered amendments, but Democrats used a filibuster to block the debate from even happening. My friends across the aisle seem to want the issue more than they wanted a solution.
What? They want the problem?
But I'm still working. I'm hopeful that this will be different. When America comes together, we've made tremendous progress, but powerful forces want to pull us apart. 100 years ago, kids in classrooms were taught the color of their skin was their most important characteristic. And if they looked a certain way, they were inferior. Today, kids are being taught that the color of their skin defines them again. And if they look a certain way, they're an oppressor. From colleges to corporations to our culture, people are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all.
Did you hear that, what he said? Let me give you this quote real quick. This is one of my favorite quotes of all time, probably. This is Booker T. Washington. Look what he says here. There's another class of colored people. Pay attention to this if you haven't heard this quote, please. There's another class of colored people who make a business of keeping the troubles, the wrongs, and the hardships of the Negro race before the public. Having learned that they are able to make a living out of their troubles, they have grown into their settled habit of advertising their wrongs, partly because they want sympathy and partly because it pays. Some of these people do not want the Negro to lose his grievances because they do not want to lose their jobs. They're JOBs. That's right, man. People need problems. They're going to keep instigating problems. And they don't want the Negro, as Booker T. Washington says, to lose its grievances. To know that even if you're black, you could become a senator. And watch what he says later. He makes a great point here.
By doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country. It's backwards to fight discrimination.
You hear that? A black man says America's not a racist country. And then you talk to another black guy and he says it's the end of the world.
With different types of discrimination. And it's wrong to try to use our painful past to dishonestly shut down debates in the present. I'm an African American who's voted in the South my entire life. I take voting rights personally. Republicans support making it easier to vote and harder to cheat.
Yeah.
And so do the voters. Big majorities of Americans support early voting, and big majorities support voter ID, including African Americans and Hispanics. Common sense makes common ground. But today, this conversation has collapsed.
But today, there's not too much common sense in the Democratic Party. That's what you should have said, Tim Scott. And to end it off here, look what he says. Let me just find the timestamp. 12:50. He says, "From Cotton to Congress, man, is incredible." Look what he says here. Just to end it off, he finishes it off greatly.
We are all in this together, and we get to live in the greatest country on earth.
Amen.
The country where my grandfather in his 94 years saw his family go from cotton to Congress in one lifetime.
Wow.
So I am more than hopeful. I am confident that our finest hour is
Tim.
yet to come.
Hey.
Original sin is never the end of the story.
It's not.
Not in our souls and not for our nation. The real story is always redemption.
Yes.
I am standing here because my mom has prayed me through some really tough times. I believe our nation has succeeded the same way because generations of Americans in their own ways have asked for grace and God has supplied it.
Amen.
So I will close with a word from a worship song.
This is why this guy speaks like this. This guy's Christian. This guy is Christian.
That really helped me through this past year of COVID. The music is new, but the words draw from Scripture. May the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May his presence go before you and behind you and beside you. In your weeping and your rejoicing, he is for you. May his favor be upon our nation for 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children. Good night, and God bless the United States of America.
Amen to that, man. Tim Scott, man, he killed it. But, Twitter, the people that he gets, liberals on Twitter, he says he gets racism. A lot of this racism comes from liberals. Twitter allows the hashtag Uncle Tim instead of Uncle Tom, which is a racial epithet, to trend on Twitter for hours regarding a black man that dares think for himself. Because if you're black, you're supposed to do what we say we're supposed to do. But this man is the opposite of what he says they're supposed to do. So now they're using racial epithets if he doesn't conform to their way of thinking. That's where we're at, coming from the liberal party, from the liberals, from the Democratic Party. When a black person calls another black person a coon, that's racism. That's racism. He's using a racial epithet based on that person's skin color. When another black person calls another black person Uncle Tom, that's racism. Because he's only calling him Uncle Tom because the person is black and doesn't conform to the idea that he's supposed to conform to, according to the Democratic Party of the United States of America. And according to a lot of white liberals like Joy Behar, who says, Tim, how dare you say that there's no racism in America? Me, the white savior, says there's racism in America. Tim, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is insanity. The person that quote unquote is the victim is telling the person, the white savior, that I'm not a victim. I'm able to do whatever I want. The white savior is mad because they're telling them that that's a false narrative, that there is no racism, and the white savior is mad.
Sitting on his hands and not reacting. Does Kevin McCarthy like dirty water? Maybe he should, campaign on that. Dirty water for everybody. And then the other thing I have to say is I thought it was brilliant. I thought Biden was incredibly warm and presidential and just great. And to see those two beautiful, intelligent, brilliant women behind him makes me feel like I just felt wonderful. Now, Tim.
Damn, those two. Like out of all women that should have been behind there's plenty of qualified women to be there, like Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi. Wow.
Scott, he does not seem to understand, and a lot of them don't seem to understand the difference between
she's talking about Tim Scott, the black guy,
a racist country and a systemic racism. They don't seem to get the difference. Yes, maybe it's not a racist country. Maybe Americans, the majority, are not racist. But we live in a country with systemic racism. We discussed it this week again already about housing and about education and all of the things that are important to people. And the fact that Tim Scott cannot.
I don't think Joy Behar knows what systemic racism is. I don't even know what systemic racism is, to be honest. It might have existed in the past. Yeah, of course. The United States was a racist country. I tell people to point out systemic racism to me. What is it? Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. To this day, nobody knows what systemic racism is. Where is it? Where can we find it? That way we can eradicate it. They don't know.
Not acknowledge this is appalling. How can you go out there and say that when you just said 2 minutes ago that you were the object and the victim of discrimination? And then he says that this is not a racist country. At least acknowledge that there is systemic racism. That's what I wanted to hear from him, and he didn't say it.
The white savior says that you got to acknowledge that there's systemic racism. You got to acknowledge, you got to say this, you got to say that. Actually, let me get this right back real quick. Let me just show you guys this. The white savior says that there's systemic racism. You got to acknowledge, you got to do this, you got to do that, because the white savior said so. And if you don't do that, then I'm going to be mad at you. It's incredible. Governor Whitmer, and we're going to get to the calls real quick. Governor Whitmer, at least I want to take 1 or 2 calls real quick. Governor Whitmer unveils a plan to get MI back, VAC, look how they spell that, VAC to normal. So this is the outline. This is, look at this graphic right here. I'm going to open it up here. So they're telling the little boys and girls in Michigan that only if you get vaccinated, they will open up your state back. Only if that. If not, no, you can't do that. Little boy and girl. Okay, so where are they right now? We are here. It says here we are here. 48.8 vaccinated in the state of Michigan, right? Step 1, 55% vaccinated plus 14 days. Lift the state's requirement for employers to require remote work feasible, right? So we'll do that. Step 2, 60% vaccinated plus 14 days. We'll increase indoor capacity at sports stadiums to 25%. So we're going to let you go to the game, but only 25% capacity. Increasing the indoor activity at conference centers, blanket halls, funeral homes. Increase capacity at exercise facilities at gyms to 50%. I don't understand 50% at the gym, but 25% at the stadium, where a lot of it is open air. There's no science behind it. This is just cuckoo people talking here. Lift the curfew on restaurants and bars. Yeah, so now we're going to let you, no more curfew. Step 3, 65% plus 14 days. Lift indoor percentages, capacity limits. Require only social distancing between parties. Lift 100-person cap in restaurants and 300-person cap on other facilities. And relax current limits on residential social gatherings. So we'll let you have your own party. We'll let you celebrate your birthday. Only if 65% of what they call the people in Michigan. Michigonians, I'm guessing, right? If that's a word. 65% and 70% plus 14 days. Lift the gatherings face max order. No longer impose broad mitigation measures during the pandemic unless the virus threatens to overrun the medical system or other unanticipated circumstances arise, such as the spread of vaccine-resistant variants. So it all depends on the amount of people that get vaccinated. We will be opening up the state like that. If not, don't think about it, Michigan. But again, it's like, guys, I have switched my my view on things, right, drastically, right. I think we are past the point of people understanding with words. I think people are going to understand when bad things start happening to them. You know, like persons like this governor here, who's imposing these laws, et cetera, et cetera. When the bad things start happening, people understand, hey, you know what? Maybe we did mess up in voting for a Democratic governor. Oh, wait, you know what? Maybe we did mess up in voting for a Democratic president. Oh, you know what? Maybe we did this bad. Then they'll start understanding. But until that happens, you'll get people like Joy Behar that is telling the black man, hey, black man. Like Joe Biden said, if you don't vote Democrat, then you're not black. 646-470-1077 is the number to call. I would like to get at least 2 calls in. If you guys, whoever calls, keep it to like around 3 minutes. That way maybe 2 or 3 people could call. That because obviously you guys know that after this I go to El Show de Valentín in Spanish. My friend, I go to the Valentine show in Spanish where I got to do a little setup. I went running today right before the show, which I shouldn't have. And it made me late to set up the whole little setup here, and I'm running late. Apart the fact that I never ever finish at 8:30, and I took it over, but like I always do. But I'm guys, call me up. Let me know what you guys think about the current affairs of the United States. Did you guys who liked the Joe Biden speech? Somebody that's willing to call and explain to me what's systematic racism and where can I find it. Explain to me and call and let me understand, because I just don't understand exactly what's going on. But again, huge spending. They're going to tax the rich, tax the corporations, which I'm for now. But I'm for all this. That way the rich and the corporations learn to promote something that they're not against, right? Don't promote Democratic policies if they're going to hurt you. I think they need to learn, and they could pay the price. Rich people could pay the price because they have a lot of money. Corporations could pay the price too because they have a lot of money. So that way maybe we could get rid of this woke capitalism, and they understand, oh, wait, when they're talking about raising the capital gains tax and, you know, and the corporate tax, we gotta not vote for that, you know. But they don't understand this so far. So I think bad things need to happen like these right here, right? That way they could start getting it, right? They could start understanding what's going to happen. I think America, it's in a very comfortable place, guys, to be honest. I think the reason we are in the state of affairs that we are in the United States of America is because America has been such a prosperous nation throughout the years, a country truly blessed by God, the land of opportunity, the land of freedom, the home of the free, right? That's America. The world knows that. But I think we've too comfortable right now, to be honest. And I think we need a little turmoil. I'm ready for whatever comes down the pipe. The day that the Lord of the heavens decides to take Mr. Valentine to be with him, I'll be grateful to do that. Whatever's going to happen, let it happen. Let it happen, plain and simple. Just let it happen, because it seems like America doesn't get it. There's a lot of people that don't get it. Like that jet exchange right there between Joy Behar and what she told Tim Scott, telling the black man that you are a victim and I'm going to save you. That you are a victim. The black man is saying, you know what? I have experienced discrimination, but that's not everybody. That's not everywhere. That's not the majority. I have experienced that, but that's not the end all be all. Original sin is not the end all be all. My parents, my grandparents saw they saw from Cotton to Congress, one of their family members. I think we can make it in America. I think it's the best place to live in the whole wide world. The white liberal says no. You're wrong, black man. And black liberals too. You got to put in the black liberals in there. We got to be inclusive here. The black liberal says no also. But it's even more when I don't know, man, when like the white man is telling the black man, there's, why don't you not acknowledge that there's systematic racism? To this day, I don't know what systematic racism is. I dare you to ask a liberal. Look, I just asked somebody, because somebody called and explained to me what is systematic racism. No calls. I think probably nobody knows what systematic racism is. That's the spy in the sky. That's like the unicorn in Mars. Nobody knows what it is. That's something far, far away that we just mention it to look cool, but we can pinpoint it down. Can we point to some racist policies of yesteryear? Of course. Who can't? Jim Crow laws. Who can? I can just say Jim Crow and everybody knows. Redlining in when banks used to loan. We know about all that. But I'm talking about today. Tell it to me today. What can a black man or a person of color not do because the color of their skin? What can they do? Cannot do. When they go to a bank, the loan says, oh, okay, no, not for you. You're black. I just don't get it. When immigrants are coming here, just look at the border. There's supposedly discrimination towards black people and people of color. BIPOC. Black and indigenous people of color. BIPOC. Remember that word. You learned it today on the Valentine show. They also use POC. Let me see. Caller, you on the air.
Brother Valentin, con mucho swing. This is Ronnie from Chicago. How you doing, brother?
Ronnie, talk to me. Ronnie, how you feeling, brother? Good, man.
God bless you, man.
Hey,
I called in a little bit late. I catch the show a little bit late today, brother.
No problem, man. Even I'm running late today, man. Don't worry about that. That's how it is.
You know how us Hispanics are?
I try not to be like that. That's one thing that I hate, Ronnie. I hate the whole lateness thing. I hate the whole Spanish culture, which we are late for everything. Everything is a problem. And man, I'm to be honest, I'm almost like terrified of being late. I don't like even being late to church, to be honest. Like literally not even like 5 minutes late. But talk to me, Ronnie. What's up?
No, brother. No, I just turned on the show right now, so I don't know what you guys have been talking about, but I did hear you mentioning about, man, us minorities, man. Like, it's like if you're conservative, look what happened to Tim Scott, which I'm probably sure you already
I did
about
that. Great speech.
All right. But Ben Carson, Clarence Thomas is
oh my God,
one of the best judges that we've ever had. And yet, for like Black History Month, nobody will talk about him. Nobody will mention him. It's bad.
It's incredible if you don't toe the party line. If black people don't say that they're Democrats and they come with the whole liberal talking points, it's like you are thrown into the plantation back again of anonymity, because you're not supposed to do that. Yet some of the greatest, some of the best people are here are black conservatives like Thomas Sowell. The dude is a genius speaking, man.
Amen.
These people and Tim Scott, man. Tim Scott, to be honest, there's a quality, there's a presidential quality there. I see that there. He's a great communicator. He speaks very cool and mannered, but he gets the way he speaks. Even the hood understands him, like I say, right? Even people that necessarily don't understand, because he doesn't use big words or anything like that. But I don't get it, right? And then you see, I don't know if you caught the part of Joy Behar. Joy Behar is telling Tim Scott that he's supposed to acknowledge racism and that the United States, there's systemic racism. So the white woman is telling the black man that you have to say that there's racism.
There we go again. There you go again. Hey, that's what happens to us, man. And now whites, liberals are telling us, oh, you know what? You should accept Latinx or Latinx or whatever that's called.
Latinx.
Hey, man, somebody calls me a Latinx and I'll stop them right there. I'll go, whoa. That's offensive. do not use that term against. I'd rather you call me the S word.
Yeah.
That rhymes with thick.
Yeah.
Than call me Latif or whatever that is. Like what's his name? Plant. So yeah, he's funny.
Yeah. You watch Chris Plant?
Oh yeah, I listen to him.
You
Yeah,
listen to him.
him.
Oh man, Chris Plant is hilarious, man.
Yeah,
I love Chris Plant.
In Chicago here, there's a nice conservative radio station where the lineup is it's Chris Plant and then Ben Shapiro and all of that. I listen to all of that. And then there's 2 channels actually that I listen to Sean Hannity. It's because you got to have balance.
You have to.
But can I ask you one more thing? I just remember this. Have you ever listened to Umar Johnson? He's like a black, very pro-black African.
He calls himself African, Pan-Africanist.
Yeah,
Pan-Africanist.
Yes.
I've watched Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson. Let me say like this. Umar Johnson,
extreme, very extreme.
Yes, very extreme. Very some people might call him very racist on because he's very pro his people. He's very pro black people. Right. But there's videos out there. There's videos out there of him or voice like recordings of him being a creep with or in the way he speaks regarding young women and girls. Young girls in particular. Young girls. Okay. Yes.
No, but Valentine, look up the last interview that he had with Charlemagne, whatever that show is. The God, I hate to say it, but it was like just a couple weeks ago, and again, he said this before about Obama. He said this before about Biden, and just now he said, "Hey, what did Biden do? The first thing he did." Executive order for the LGBTQ transsexuals.
Oh, yeah.
And he signed a bunch of executive order. And what has he done for the black folks? Nothing. And then he told them, Charlemagne, Biden came here. He told you to your face that if you didn't vote for him, you weren't black. And look what he's doing now. He's not doing anything. And he laid it down, man.
Wow,
he told it exactly
I gotta look into
like
that.
It is. And he said, you know what? He didn't stick up for Trump, but he said, you know what? They made Trump into a scapegoat, and he had a lot of it was right on point. And so they made him a scapegoat, and now what happened? They let the government off the hook, because now, instead of blaming the government, they blame Trump, and then you got to watch it. It's very interesting.
I'm gonna look into it. I didn't know that there was a new interview that I checked out his last interview on the Power 105
a few years ago.
A few years ago. But I'll check this one out. I'll check
and
this
that
one
was
out.
good, and that was good too.
Okay.
He said the truth about Obama, and again, he's like, hey, this whole LGBTQ movement is not for us.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
black people in the United States are just a pawn. And a lot of them know. A lot of conservatives know. Black people in the United States are just being used by the Democratic Party, the media, because they need a victim. And what better victim than black people? They have proven themselves to let themselves be used by the establishment, by the Democratic Party, because they constantly, even when the white man tells them, if you don't vote for me, you're black. You're not black. Even when the white man tells them that, they still vote Democrat. They are the perfect victim. They are the perfect victim for that. And
that's exactly what he said. Word.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%, my brother.
Yeah, it's insane, but that's where we're at. Let's see what happens. Let's try to keep a positive mind, even though these last couple of days, to be honest, these last couple of months, I'm very grim. I'm not very optimistic about the United States of America, just because of the state of the politics and the state of the media and how they cover for the president and where they're going with it.
It's so obvious.
Yeah, it's so obvious, and the way that they're going with like the spending, it's just we're moving towards the government being a huge part of your everyday life. That's socialism. That's what that is. And people are not.
2022 is going to be. Yeah, 2022 is going to be very important.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
it's going to be a battle.
It's do or die. It's like Ben Stein. It's going to be do or die for 2022.
It's going to get bloody. It's going to get bloody. And I hope I hope the Republican Party gets down in the mud with the Democratic Party, like
primary, man.
like
I
Trump,
hope that
like
Cheney,
Trump did.
Liz Cheney, yeah. I hope Liz Cheney from Wyoming, all those rhinos get primaried and out the door.
Me too.
Yeah,
you and me both, Ronnie. Pero
amen,
Ronnie,
brother.
let me let you go. That way I shut it down here and I go on to the Valentine.
You
El
got
show
it,
de
my brother.
Valentín en español. See you over there if you
Con
have
mucho
time. All right, Ronnie. God bless, brother.
God bless
Thank you for
brother.
the call. All right. That's Mr. Ronnie Vera. You see him on the chat all the time doing what he has to do. I'm running late for the Spanish show, but since I have nothing to do after that, let me just read a couple of this chats here. Let me see here. Noel Garcia says, I feel his speech was not bad or great, just typical. The left is punished hard, is pushing hard, and conservatives being conservative just isn't working. 130,000%, Noel. We need more cojones, right? As they say in Spanish. We need more of that, to be honest. It's just insanity, right? Let me see. Nicolas Buendia says there's definitely been systematic racism occurring in our country. Again, yes, I agree with that. I'm talking about now, right now. What law, what thing is in place that it pushes down against black people in the United States of America? When you see black people from Africa, black people from other countries, the Caribbean, they come here and they become ultra successful. My story, my father, my dad is black. My dad is 100% black. My dad does not understand English properly, speak English properly to this day. The man has been able to buy 2 brand new cars. The man owns a home. The man has the American dream, not knowing English. My father looks like Martin Luther King. Older Martin Luther King. My father's like 70-something years old. My father looks like Martin Luther King. All right. Let me see here. Occurring in our country, but that was a problem back in the day. There you go. Nicholas bringing it back. These days, liberals are crying about systematic racism, which doesn't exist. There you go. Nicholas brought it back. Let's go. Nicholas again says it's important to distinguish the difference between systematic and systemic racism. I don't dare see that's the field where liberals go. They are very big into definitions. They're very big into the words, into this. It's not systemic, it's systematic, it's not endemic, it's whatever. I'm not, I just don't go in there. I like to speak the language of the hood, as I say, the language of the common folk, the language of people, regular people. That way regular people understand. Redeem says, man, I'm on the other side of a 40, raised by a single Dominican mother who was on welfare. I have 3 degrees, retired at 42 from my job. There you go. There you go, man. Redeem. And people know this. It's a cultural thing. It's culture. Culture. I went to the park. I was playing, and I'm going to finish it here because I got to go. I'm taking it overboard. I went to the park to play ball the other day. I do a little ball. You know what I'm saying? I play a little sign. Where it's in the hood. I've been going to the park for years. It's just in the middle of the hood. What are they doing? They're smoking weed when they're playing ball. They're looking like thugs. You see, they look like 15, young kids, youngins, right? And they have rap music going on, and they're pointing their fingers, and they're dancing like this, pointing the fingers like, yeah, like with a gun, like they ready to, pull the gun. That's what the culture is telling them. What the music is telling them, and that's what they're following. That's the example that they have. How are you gonna get out of there? How? When the culture is holding you back, the culture is systematically oppressing you down, and you don't even know it. You're blaming the government, and the government needs to do more for you. But enough of me talking. I just cut it off here. I'm gonna just cut it off because I'm gonna keep going. The Spanish speakers, if you're speaking Spanish, my friend, El Show de Valentín will be starting, I guess, like around 9:30. Right here on YouTube, where I do some of this stuff, not all of it, because some of this doesn't translate well to English. You go there. As a matter of fact, if you're bilingual, you should be subscribed to both channels because I do some topics on that side that I don't do on this side, and some topics on this side that I don't do on that side. So there you go. Let me finish it off like I always do. I feel good. I feel excited. Great show today. Thank you for the people that made it possible. I apologize I didn't take more calls if any of you guys wanted to call, but I mean, it was just a long show. I didn't do any videos during the week, and I just wanted to give you guys a good show today. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys like it. And again, thank you for being here every Friday from 8 to, it's supposed to be till around 9, but look where we're at today. We're in 1 hour and 25 minutes long. You know why I do that? I take it overboard. Because I can, because I'm the boss here. Let's finish it off with a nice little prayer. Father that's in heaven, I thank you, Lord. I thank you for the Valentine show. This is your project. This is you. I thank you for the people that come here. I ask you that you bless them. I ask you that you bless their families. I ask you that you bless them in their jobs. I ask you that you help them be forceful, Lord. I ask you that you help them have character and the way they live in this world, Lord, that they may put their hope in you, that they may see you in everything of life. If that any of them might be sick, that you may heal them, that any financial problems that they might be going through, they can't pay their rent, they don't have no food, Lord, that you may appear to them, Lord, in a mighty way that only you know how to do. Again, thank you, Lord, for allowing us to have this space. Bless them and guide them. Everybody that's here tonight, Father, I ask you in Jesus' name, amen. Guys, thank you so much for being part of the show tonight, El Show de Valentin. That's where we're going right now. See you there in about 1 or 2 minutes. Peace.